Welcome to Peppershock Media's Marketing Expedition podcast, keeping you up to date with the latest in marketing and advertising. Now here's your host, Rhea Allen.
Hello. Welcome to the Marketing Expedition podcast series. I'm Rhea Allen, President and CEO of Peppershock Media, also known as the Marketing Boss Babe on Instagram and a lot other kind of fun stuff that's out there. And I'm along with Drew Allen.
That's me. It's been a little while, but we're back.
We're back. And it's always nice when we have a holiday so that we can actually get some work done when, no one's in the office to come at us, or, we actually get a moment to think for a minute. And that's what we want to do here in this podcast, is think with you for a little bit. And our topic today is all about, what is our topic about today?
We're talking about marketing audits.
Yes, marketing audits. We've been doing them now for a while, and we've come to understand the importance of them and why you should hire a company like ours to do marketing audits. It's just like you are when you hire a CPA firm to come in and do a financial audit of your books. Well, think of us like a company that's going to kind of have an outside perspective looking in on what you're doing with your marketing plan and your strategy and all the tactics that you're taking, and are they working? Are they not working? What can we do to make some recommendations to tweak your efforts to see if you can get a better return on your marketing investments? So anyway, some of the things that we cover when we do the audits, I'll let Drew take on some of the things that we do.
Well, we try to look at it, like you said, objectively as a third party, and it's easy to get caught up in your own, when you're doing your own marketing. It's easy to get bogged down and not know what all is out there, what's working, measuring what's coming in. Just
because you've always done something this way doesn't always mean it might be the right way. And if it's done that way for a really long time, maybe you could try some new tactics or some new ideas or fresh ideas, or a fresh approach into what it is that you're doing. So that's kind of how we can help when we sit down with your team and go through all the different materials and collateral that you have, and the logos, and the tactics that you take, the events that you do, all of those things that you can think of when you're in the marketing space.
Well, and one of the first things that we want to look at is your audience. Are you reaching your audience? Is your messaging geared towards and customized to who you're trying to market to? And you might have more than one target audience, but if you have an age demographic of 25 to 35-year-olds that is your social media presence, is it creative that will resonate with them? Are you speaking in their language? Are you on the platforms they're on? Are you reaching them?
Yeah, are you reaching them? Are you hitting the mark? Is it effective? Is it actually working for you? Those are some things that we want to look at and audit for you. And then, after we go through the process, we give you our recommendations and, our findings. And then once you're done, you kind of walk away with this mini plan to, engage and make your marketing plan a little more effective in some ways. So some of the things that we do during the audit is we really want to get to know your target audience. And so we do an empathy map.
That's or a persona. So let's think about who that target audience is. We want to get to know them. So what is their name? What gender are they? What do they do for fun? Are they married? What's their household income? What are they seeing and hearing and doing related to marketing in their industry or their vertical? So we kind of put together this whole seeing, hearing, doing, feeling map so that every time you get ready to launch another campaign, or even as simply as putting out another social media post, think back to Bob, whoever your customer is,
or whoever we come up with as the name of your ideal customer, or your ideal target. And like Drew said, there can be multiples too.
Yeah, and just make sure that when you're about to launch that message, are you speaking to them in a way that will resonate with them?
And so looking back at the tactics that you're taking and the collateral that you have and the efforts that you've done, and then applying our persona and seeing if they match up, if they're in alignment, if they are what we really want to address. And in some cases, we've actually uncovered new audiences that we want to market to, or we also stop doing some things that we've identified that we were doing that really weren't producing any results. So we also go through the stop, start, keep process. And some of the things that we stop, those are intended to, hey, you know what? Let's look at something new to start instead or to do differently. We also look at the things we want to keep and why we want to keep them, and maybe prioritize those tactics or those strategies or, the collateral pieces that you're utilizing. Is it working? Is it not? What's our ROI on what it is that we're doing?
Well, what's the goal? I mean, everybody's got to have a goal. If you're launching a new product, you should put some numbers towards it, or you should put, X number of interested prospects or potential leads, or what, every industry is going to vary. But if you don't know why you're doing what you're doing and you're just throwing stuff against the wall, hoping it sticks, that's not very effective.
Right. And you might waste a lot of money if you're throwing money out there and, like you said, hoping it sticks to actually work. And so looking at those things and actually having a review or an audit of your marketing tactics is kind of fun to be able to go through that process and come out the other side with, knowing that what you're trying to accomplish can go towards your goals and your objectives of what you're wanting to and your goals you can set if they're monetary, or maybe it's if you're having an event, it's the number of tickets sold, maybe it's the number of sponsors you get, the amount of exposure you want, or because marketing includes all things, including public relations, right? How much news coverage are you getting? And a lot of different things that we can look at and track. And then one of the things that I love to do, especially in our marketing needs assessment, which is even a step further than marketing audit, and we'll talk about that at another podcast, but one of the things that we like to do to help make sure that what we're doing is working is look at the lifetime value of a customer and your customer acquisition cost. What is it costing you to acquire a new customer? And is that cost effectively going down over time and getting more new customers? Or is it the other way? And why is that? So if it's costing you more to acquire new customers, what can we do differently so that it doesn't cost you as much to acquire new customers, but you're gaining more customers? And so looking at those things and seeing what you can tweak and, what you can, make happen. And just like at Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, where, Willy Wonka has the machine that kind of, you have to tweak this lever and move this lever this way and move this knob to actually create the everlasting gobstopper, making it the right everything. And so just like that in marketing, we have to make sure that the levers are all done right and that we're, tweaking things just right so that we can actually produce something of value.
Like the roast beef and a candy, the whole meal.
Right.
From Willy Wonka.
Right.
First you taste the gravy and then the potatoes and the beef.
Yeah. But we don't want to turn out to, Violet? What was her name? Where she turns up like a big blueberry, right?
Yeah.
But we want to make sure we follow the rules and do the right thing to make sure that we're producing the right results.
Well, and when you're talking about customer acquisition cost and the lifetime value of a customer, we actually have some really cool tools that, new to us, we're launching a marketing automation platform that it's been around for a long time, and you've probably heard of HubSpot and SharpSpring and
Marketo and all of these.
There's a million of them out there, but as marketing messages, people are they're being bombarded by thousands of marketing messages every day. I mean, I'm sitting here looking. There's a magazine on the table. There's a can of bubbly flavored water over there. There's a client coffee mug with a logo on it. I mean, every time you see a logo or an ad, or you hear something on the radio, or you see a billboard or a TV spot or a social media post promoting something, all of that is marketing. That's all, somebody trying to get your attention to sell you something or to get you to do something. So this tool that we're using, marketing automation tool, you plug everything into the system. You track everything. If Joe Blow customer or potential customer clicks on your email, fills out the form, downloads the white paper, likes you on Facebook, shares your Twitter post. I mean, it tracks every individual interaction with your company, and you can qualify these leads if they're very active with your marketing, and they're like I said, they're sharing stuff and they're paying attention and they're interested in what you have to say. At some point, once they're qualified enough, and that'll, you can set up all these parameters in this system, you then have a list of warm leads that your sales team gets on the phone with and says, hey, we realize or notice that you're very interested in all the stuff we're putting out. It's just, rather than throwing stuff out there and hoping that you draw people in, this is a much more measurable tool that we're offering our clients now. So if you're interested, you can get a hold of us.
It's kind of exciting to be able to track everything, because I always say, measure what you treasure, dump what you don't. And this gives you an opportunity to be able to measure the things that, otherwise we may not have been measured before. And with, in the past with traditional media, measuring a radio commercial or a television ad or a billboard was sometimes pretty hard to do. But now that we have all the digital tools at us, then we can see how our message is doing and do some A/B testing before we take that message to then a medium that's a little bit harder to measure, especially if you're not in a metered market where, it's actually tracking how many times, it's on air, or where somebody's actually watching it, and we're just, where people have to fill in the diaries. So I think being able to test your messaging through mediums where you could actually track it and, know that it's got a kind of a scientific database of numbers behind it, whereas it's not just purely intuition of whether or not this, potential message will work or not. Now we can become even more effective with our marketing messages and the tactics that we're taking. And so through the audit process, we can look at the different things that you're doing and identify some areas for improvement, things that we want to continue to do, but maybe even tweak a little bit more, and the things that are working well. We want to celebrate the successes too, not just focus on the things that are not working well, but we want to, celebrate what does happen to be highly effective for you and do more of that, and stop doing the things that are not effective for you, and then refocus energy on those things that are working quite well. And a couple of other things that happen within the audit too, some residual side effects, if you will, is that we get to learn a lot about your company and what you're doing and who you are, and the things that, are important to you and your goals and your aspirations, and, who you want to target and how you get that message out there. And then, sometimes after that, after we do the audit, then it might make sense for us to help you start doing some of the new things that you want to identify and tackle to do. So when we make our list of stop, start, keep, we can also identify the things that we can help you with, so that we can come alongside you and be kind of an augment of your marketing team, and become then, now your marketing team suddenly grows and expands into more because you've got more talent and skill and minds behind what it is that's going to work or not. And then you might have some more resources to be able to tap into. If you don't necessarily have a video production producer on your team, then we've got two on Peppershock's team. Or if you need additional graphic design help, we have 3 designers that we can tap into and help do what you're doing and take your strategy with you and help you actually implement more of it. We always love to come up with all these ideas, but then the big main thing is follow through and implementation and understanding how we can get it done. So planning and, thinking through that, and, if we did do the marketing needs assessment as opposed to the audit, then that's the next step in thinking through the whole strategy and the plan and the resources and the budget and the timeline and all those fun things that you get to do in your marketing department. So anyway, measure what you treasure, and of course, dump what you don't, and utilizing some of the tools that we have available when we go through this process. Creating, being able to facilitate the creative process is a little bit different for every company that we work with. But we after doing 15 years of this, we kind of come to understand what that creative process looks like and how we can work together as a team to do that, and the importance of being able to rely on others to help you. And if you've never worked with an agency before, then, we can help with that and explain how things can work together and, how we collaborate. We're not always out there to just steal away the marketing director's job. Really, our role is to help the marketing director fulfill what the strategies and plans and objectives and goals and everything that we set together can become.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah. So anyway, we've done some, marketing audits, and now have since turned into long-term clients of ours, and they've got some really great things as a result of the process. And one of them is Bill from Mobility Helpdesk, and we'll let you listen to what he had to say about going through the marketing audit process.
Hi, I'm Bill Klevenberg, CEO of Mobility Helpdesk. We're headquartered here in Idaho with operations in Oregon as well. I wanted to take a little time and talk about Peppershock Media. For the first time since our inception almost 10 years ago, we had a solid marketing budget, but no clue how to spend it wisely and get the best bang for our buck. After speaking with Rhea Allen and the team at Peppershock, it was apparent that a deeper dive would be needed to effectively set a 1 to 2 year plan in motion. They suggested we do a marketing audit. At first, I was a little unsure about this process, but once we got started, I soon saw the value of taking the time and spending a little bit of money up front to ensure we get what we were looking for. The audit process really allowed Peppershock to gain a better understanding of our clients, our target prospects, our products and services, and overall just what our goals were. I feel the time and money was well spent and allowed Peppershock to put together a solid plan that really made sense to me. The process included everything from an empathy map of our target clients, a start, stop, and keep of current marketing tactics was really valuable, and of course a whole lot of explaining who we are, what we do, and how we do it. I feel like Peppershock came out of it with a deep understanding of our needs, goals, who we serve, and ultimately who we want to serve. At the end of the day, I feel like we received a higher quality marketing plan and proposal than had we tried to shortcut it and not do the audit. Since the launch of the actual program, the deliverables have been top-notch, and working with Peppershock team has been a great experience. One of the things I like the most is that they allow me to communicate in the fashion that works best for me and have been highly responsive. Overall, I'd highly recommend the marketing audit process from Peppershock and just recommend working with them and the team as a whole.
So it's really been great working with Bill, and we appreciate what he has to say, to others about what we have done. We enjoy that process. And I really think that the importance of being able to do either a marketing audit or the marketing needs assessment early on when we start working with clients is that we have a really deep understanding and what it is that we're trying to accomplish together. And we then can, I think, fulfill our goals even better because of that deep understanding. And, when we have something where their product or their service is highly technical and it does take a little bit of time to understand fully what it is that they're doing, this process early on can definitely help the team figure out what that process is and what it is that they do. But then also we figure out how to work together with our clients as their team develops and, how we can all work together as well.
The other day we were on a call with Bill and just going over this quarter's goals and what we've accomplished and looking ahead at Q4 and Q1, even into 2019. And it just was an awesome conversation because we were on the same page. We understood what he was doing. We could speak his lingo. We knew the products and we were able to, it almost felt like we were the marketing department just down the hall that he could, send a quick note to and say, hey, what's going on with this? And how can we get this done? And what are your other ideas? And we're an extension of his business now as a marketing partner.
So I guess the piece of advice that we can leave you with is that if you have never worked with an agency before, or maybe you're looking for a different relationship, or maybe you're not happy with the one that you have, whatever the case might be, I would say seek out those who do some sort of marketing audit or marketing needs assessment up front, because this process truly is very valuable. And yes, you do have to pay for it. Somebody the other day just asked me, well, why would I pay you to do all of that? Isn't it your job to learn all about my business and then pitch me what your ideas are? Why would I do that? And my answer to that is that we're not the traditional agency that's going to just go pitch you our ideas. We need to get to know you first. We need to figure out how to work with you. We need to understand what your goals and what your objectives are, why you want to do what you want to do, who your audience are. And that all needs to come from a collaborative session with you. And we, in the audits, we do a 90-minute session, and there is some homework up front to be able to collect and gather all the materials and look at your website and, audit your website and audit your social media. We really need to understand who you are first. Then we can go and do the recommendations of what, we would otherwise say we could do. Just like if you go to a doctor, you don't expect him to prescribe you medication without understanding what the symptoms are, right? Well, same thing. We're not going to be able to prescribe to you what we think you need to be able to enhance your marketing plan without knowing what the symptoms are of the problems that you are suffering from. Or
your doctor definitely will not have that first visit for free.
That's right. They
will
will
charge
pay you.
every time you're in there.
And it's very valuable to have that session. And I think too that if, for our clients, if they're willing to pay us for the time and energy and effort for us to do the audit with them or do the marketing needs assessment with them, we have found that those people who value what we do have become even better long-term strategic partners of our agency. So anyway, that's kind of the advice I would say, is that it's very valuable and it's worth every penny that you pay.
And here's another analogy. You wouldn't build a house without first paying an architect to draw up the blueprints. So that's how we look at marketing, is you need to come up with a plan. You need to understand where everything's at, what you're going to do, who's going to do what, and be responsible for what, by when, and under what budget, and all those things. I mean,
yeah,
you're not going to build a house without blueprints.
You wouldn't pour the foundation unless you had a plan, right? At least I wouldn't. Maybe, that's the idea, is that you would definitely pay an architect to come up with a blueprint or come up with a plan and strategy of how the rest of it's going to be built. And, and sometimes in that plan, you have to decide if you want granite countertops or if you want Formica, or if you want, there's different things that part of it, that can be established that can definitely, change the budget. But you also have to think about what you want. What is that overall impression that you want for your brand? So building your brand is much like building a building.
Do you want in-house plumbing?
Or you want
indoor
an
outhouse?
Yeah. Indoor plumbing or outdoor
not
plumbing, yeah. Yeah, there's definitely, you want copper pipes or you want PVC pipes, right? I mean, there's lots of different things to think.
I couldn't tell you which one's better.
Yes, yeah. You want candle lights or do you want a dimmer switch? Anyway, there's lots of different things that kind of go into the idea of what you're going to do and how you're going to do it and how you're going to implement it, the resources that you need. And so by thinking through all of that with an agency right up front, it really does yourself, you and your company, a good service to do that. And if you cut that first part out, you're really doing yourself a disservice, because then, the agency that you're expecting to be able to work with and partner with is not going to know as much about you had you done that first step.
So not that we're always using our podcast as a sales platform, but if what you just listened to was intriguing and you're interested in learning more about our marketing audits, you can go to peppershock.com/audits and read a little bit more about the process. If you're interested and you're ready to sign up, it's all available right there on the website. And we look forward to learning more about your business and helping you build your brand and your bottom line.
Yeah, and speaking about resources, there's plenty of them out there for you on our website. There's a resources tab, And we've got lots of webinars, podcasts. We have our Marketing Expedition membership subscription. And to that, you get monthly webinars that we talk about a variety of different things. We interview people that are within the industry or businesses that have had some success with their marketing. And we also have an exclusive private Facebook page if you subscribe to the annual membership to the Marketing Expedition series that we put on. And anyway, so there's lots of resources out there. Our blog has quite a few different types of articles about many, many different marketing efforts that we've done over the years. Peppershock is 15 years old as of October 2018. So there's been lots of things that we've done and lots of things we've learned. So hopefully you can find some resources that will help you and inspire you in your marketing. And like Drew said, we are passionate about building brands and bottom lines for Fortune None to Fortune 100 companies across the globe. Thanks for listening.
Ta-ta for now.
Thanks for listening to the Marketing Expedition podcast. Find more online at peppershock.com.